what's up, guys? State of Dashcamming here. So I wanted to sort of start a little conversation, just some things I'm observing, and I just kind of want to see, A, what you guys feel about it, B, if you feel the same about what's happening, regardless of how you feel about it, and what direction you think everything's headed. I am calling this the State of Dashcamming. Basically, I'm just going to discuss a little bit what I feel are the good things that are coming out of the whole dash camming community and having dash cams in vehicles and all that, and then the bad that comes with it. So, like anything, we'll start with the good. Obviously, when you have things on camera, you got more proof of what's happening, more people being held accountable when something happens. And sort of playing into that, there's a lot of factors that will kind of let this happen. For starters, you have the fact that camera quality overall is increasing. This is obviously not something that we as part of the dash camming community can directly control, but it brings more people into it, whether they're a part of the community in the sense that we are, where we make content on it, or whether they're part of it in the sense that they believe having one is good and having one can help out. They're still, I would call them, part of the community. That being said, they're also becoming more common. A, between cost barriers coming down on decent quality cameras. B, prices not necessarily increasing on the high quality cameras as new ones come out. So it's like prices are dropping for the mid-range ones, but they're not really getting any higher for the expensive ones. So that's always good to see as well, that there's not just a general prices going up. In fact, some are trending downward. You also have, as much as I do not like Tesla, you have manufacturers like Tesla that now equip these in their vehicles standard. And while every single Tesla owner, when they submit their video into a dash cam compilation, has to tell you that it was captured from their Tesla, as if anyone cares, it's still good that all this stuff is on camera, because you never know what's going to happen. Now, the only big argument I see against that is the whole privacy thing, and just don't save the footage. It doesn't save, just don't save it. And in terms of audio, just have it off or mute it. I mute audio when I feel like the conversation shouldn't be public. I just don't see really any drawbacks to having one. And a lot of people are starting to get in that direction, especially as you hear more and more stories about crazy things happening. You sort of decide, you know what, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm overthinking this, maybe it's worth the risk, and people do it. And overall, I think that's just good. It's getting better. More and more people are having proof of what's happening, and it's saving their asses, it's saving other people's asses. I know me personally, my footage has helped two different people who have had the offending party claim that the victim caused the crash. And just having footage of these crashes, even if you submit it to the police later, it's getting it out there to where the right verdict is being dealt. The other big thing that tends to be overlooked is, with more people having dash cams, you're exposed to more people's mistakes, whether they're the camera making a mistake or whether they're witnessing someone else drive like erratically or make a mistake. And in turn, you process that and you start realizing what not to do, and you can learn to adapt or change your driving habits to more fit what is smart and what is safe. And it sort of just plays into very, albeit slowly, very significantly better drivers on the road. Like, yeah, obviously, if you're not sitting here watching these videos, it's not going to help you. But if you're watching these videos, you're going to start to recognize, hey, the right lane is moving at speed, the left lane is stopped, there's driveways on the other side of the road, let me slow down even though I can be going the speed limit. It helps you learn these defensive driving things to help avoid a crash, because you see other people's mistakes and other people's not quite mistakes, but things they could do differently. And it's not only does it hold people accountable, it helps people learn, in my opinion. It improves the driving experience. And I mean, that's pretty much the bulk of it, but those are very significant positives, obviously, to come out of this. The community, obviously, is directly related to how many people have these dash cams. So as more people have cameras, more people are in the community, and you sort of get this this upward spiral effect where everything sort of feeds into each other, and the community building as a whole, whether they post or not often, just makes everything better, and it slowly starts to affect these other areas in positive ways. Now, the downsides, in my opinion, there are a couple. These ones are more directed at basically the mentality that comes from people with cameras. Sometimes having a camera makes you think you're right all the time. Makes you think, I can't be in the wrong. Makes you think, oh, I can look at this and I know that I did it right. And that's just not true. People, you can admit your mistakes, and that's part of the learning process is, yeah, you're going to fuck up. Just admit it. Having a camera makes a lot of people think, I'm the one with the camera, that means I'm in the right. I'm going to road rage at you because you cut me off, but I'm in the right because you cut me off and I got it on camera. That's just, that mentality can be dangerous and can sort of play negatively in the whole upward spiral I was talking about a minute ago. And in the same vein, it's people wanting others held accountable but not wanting themselves held accountable. Because then you have people who will manipulate the clips that they seem like they're right. It will cut out important moments like, yeah, maybe this person brake checked you, but it didn't include where you brake checked them first, or you cut them off. Or you're going 55 for 5 miles in the passing lane, and they pass you on the right aggressively, and all of a sudden you're playing complete victim as if you didn't create that scenario equally. And you just get all that kind of stuff. The other thing is, with more people wanting to get into it, there is still a bit of a cost barrier, because you can buy super cheap ones. My cheap cameras, I might have issues zooming in and getting a plate. And that can be an issue. And it might have issues recording good audio, and it might miss things. And, that's just something where, yeah, it's great that everything's building up, but you also have to keep in mind that you got to get the right things, or the technology still hasn't fully got to where it needs to be. The other big thing is people think that when they have a camera, they can become, they have to become part of it. They can't just capture it on camera. They have to be part of the situation. They have to, if they see someone speeding, they have to intentionally speed up to block them so that they can basically have the holier than thou, look at me, I'm stopping bad drivers, when all you're actually doing is being an arguably worse driver. I'd much rather someone who drives like an idiot than another person who eggs them on. And it can create more, and you get the people who will, because they have a camera, they want the footage, they're going to accelerate when that person cuts them off, and they're going to lay on the horn when they really didn't need to do any of that. And at the same time, while it can make you more defensive, it does make people who want to create the content, it can make you drive more aggressively and make the wrong decisions. And another big thing that I've noticed is it makes certain people who really do not have the, I don't want to say mental capacity because that's insensitive, but the people who don't have the, I guess I should say the emotional capacity is probably the right way to say it, to not make an ass of themselves with their footage, to not repeatedly instigate different scenarios. I'm looking at a certain YouTuber by the name of Blue Ghost, or Bad Drivers of Central New York. I'm not gonna say who exactly that is because I can't recall the full channel name, and I don't want to say the wrong one when I don't want to mention the one who knows how to drive well. But you have things like that where they really shouldn't have a platform, and now they feel like they're entitled to, they're not entitled, they feel like they're obligated to create this content even though they're the big issue. And sometimes having a platform, everyone having a voice is nice, but sometimes you give people a little bit too much power to have a little bit too much of a platform, and basically let it get to their head. And the other big thing, this isn't so much the actual dash cammers part of the community. This is the you've seen the comments a million times. Hey, I'm this brand new dash cam crash compilation channel. I want to feature you in my video. You get the reputable ones that, if they make ad revenue, that's up to personal preference. If you feel like oh, I don't think they should be able to profit off of my footage. But I mean, they are asking permission and you're giving permission. That's not so much the issue. It's these little channels that will just pop up and try to use your footage to build up their channel instead of trying to create something people want to watch. They're just trying to get your content and try to make something out of it. Especially like when they're commenting it on the post that I would never put in a video like that because no one gives a shit. That's when you start to run into these kinds of issues. And then you have these new ones, and especially once they hit over 1,000 subscribers and I know that they can monetize their stuff, that's when I get really pissed about this. When they ask, but then they use it anyway before you can even answer them. Or they use it when you said no, or they use it because you didn't answer quick enough. And then they get all apologetic saying, oh, I meant to ask, or sorry, this fell through the cracks, but then it happens a bunch of times. And that's become an issue where that, you know, I don't want to say dash camming's become oversaturated because, I mean, it kind of is to where, like, you know, I only really watch the compilations and I'll watch other people from my area. So I admit, like, I don't go and I don't watch a lot of compilations from other places anymore. I used to a lot. That what I viewed has just changed over time. But the, I guess the big thing that you run into is not only do you get a potential oversaturation to a degree, I'd say, because people still watch and enjoy the content with this. You get a big oversaturation of these car crash compilations that want to, you know, you get 30 different channels posting the same clips and only 2 of them are, like, you don't need all that. And I don't want to be handing out my clip to 30 different channels because they all want to feature me in their 500 view video. That doesn't need to be there because no one needs. I don't sit there and think, man, I watched 15 car crash compilation channels. I need more. I don't do that. I watch the couple I watch, which are the big ones, so you probably know them. And I don't need it. No one does. Now, if you do something interesting, that's one thing. The people who do the road raid ones, okay, there's a different little bit of a niche for that. Or the ones who do, like, fails of the week. Okay, yeah, sure. If you're doing something new with the content and making it interesting, okay. But, yeah, that's just a big issue is, like, not only do you have the cameras that are sort of, you know, using a camera to act like they are something they're not, and act like they're not just trying to document what's happening in case something happens, or in my case, creating, you know, mild entertainment just for fun of bad drivers. It's like, it's not like I'm sitting here instigating, I need footage. I'm just recording whatever I get and I'm making something out of it. That's what it should be, and that's what it used to be a lot, but it lends itself to this as much as it lends itself to becoming a better driver. So that's just, again, I'm not offering an end-all, be-all. I'm just offering my takes on what good has been happening, what bad has been happening, and I want to know where you think this is going. So that being said, feel free to leave a comment, let me know. Check out my other videos if you are so inclined. And yeah, just, if you're part of the community, don't be one of the bad ones I mentioned. I'm not putting myself on a pedestal. I hate to say I'm one of the good ones, but I don't do the stuff that I put under the bad stuff. I don't go out instigating clips. I don't go out acting like a camera makes me right. I put personal mistakes in every single one of my videos. I think that's how it should be, where you know, especially if you're making content, don't just showcase what they did wrong. Showcase what you did wrong. You know, it's all about learning to be a better driver and learning to and being entertained by people who aren't being better drivers. And yeah, that being said, let me know what you think about that. Let me know where you feel dash camming's headed in that sense. And any thoughts on anything I might have missed, any other points I might have missed, and just, yeah, let me know. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.